Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, and I'm going to make a brief introduction to this video. Apparently, I was super frazzled and didn't realize that after I did my deck upgrades in the video, I never clicked full screen capture. And honestly, I'm burnt out on Seekers only. I would normally re-record the video, but that's too much work for me at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like this. Being zoomed in is still watchable most of the time, but it's probably going to be uncomfortable as a viewer. I don't know. I honestly have no idea how it feels as a viewer. I'll find that out while I'm editing the video, I guess. But I'm just going to put a disclaimer here that it's either in teeny tiny squinto vision or it's podcast version. Sorry about that. Anyways, I'm going to hand it over to Past Me, who is currently fucking up the video and has no idea he's doing it yet. Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, and this is the epilogue scenario of Forgotten Age, Turn Back Time. That intro doesn't work as well when it still just says Return to Shattered Aeons, but trust me, we're playing Turn Back Time. In the intro here, as we've gone back in time, our immediate instructions are... we cleared a path to the Aztli ruins, so intro 2, cross off everything except the first 3 entries. None of this happened, and none of that happened, but Yig is still pissed. Yig is, you might say, furious at this point. Time traveling or not, he knows about what happened to all those snakes. And the rest of the setup we already have done with the setup button, sans one thing. We need to add our 4th squid to the bag. Let me make sure we're out of curses. And then we should see a bag that is basically nothing but squids. Yep, 4 squids, 2 skulls. That's all of our symbols. Speaking of symbols, this time our skulls are -X, X the number of locations with doom on them, and squids are -4 if you fail place 1 doom on your location. And before we get into this any further, let's go ahead and talk about the deck upgrades. It's simple. In Amanda, I bought Observed because I don't want to think anymore. And in Mandy, I chose not to spend my experience because I have 70 experience already. I don't want to think anymore. These decks are finished. Adding more cards to them makes me spend more time thinking about a campaign that's already over, so I'm not going to. But, since I've said that now, let's not forget about it this time. Let's do the Observed thing. For Amanda's Observed, we get options of... anytime I reveal an Elder Sign, I can heal a damage or a horror. Seems kind of irrelevant. During each investigator's first turn, or this is just Amanda's, I can take 2 additional actions. That's pretty nice. Everyone gets +1 health. Alright, these 2 are minor healing effects, so I'll be taking 2 additional actions during my first turn. Now let's go see what the tarot pool for Mandy is. I get to search my deck for Mr. Rook. I don't even care what the other 2 say. They can't possibly convince me that that is wrong. And looking at this, this is in fact Doom of Aztli. I imagine it's going to go a lot better this time. Our opening agenda is +2 Doom because of the number of players, so an 8 Doom threshold. Our opening act is 6 clues to advance. That's going to be the one that puts the Chamber of Time in the way. And we need to explore all the way down to the end to find Yig and kill the damn snake. So let's do our mulligans and get into this. Did you know you can draw from the token buckets? Because you can. What specifically does Amanda want in an opening hand? Like, it's probably wrong to throw away both practice makes perfects, but I'm not sure it's pulling from the cards to just set down. I always forget that if I put them there, they're going to get drawn. Just such a weird quirk of tabletop sim. So, our cards now include a Cryptic Research. Oh, that's better. And Perception. Yeah, we have more draw like this. This is better. I'm not really sure what Amanda's looking for as setup cards. And the game is beginning, so before I take my mulligan, I think is when that would happen. I'm taking Mr. Rook. Then we draw 7 cards because I'm studious. And if I already have a Mr. Rook, what do I actually care about? I don't want to hold practice skills, because if practice makes perfect, I don't want to hold this, I want to draw it. I don't currently have the ability to crack the case, and this is a research skill. So I don't know what I should be mulliganing for, but I do know I should mulligan every card I actually drew. Alright, it looks like we're assembling Pendant of the Queen relatively fast this scenario. Oh yeah, we had the same issue when I was playing with my tabletop group. The locations in this scenario just don't work for some reason. So I'm just going to be doing the copy-paste tech to get new ones. Start of the investigation phase, we have to do the Amanda thing. I'm going to put Perception under me and try to draw through a lot of cards. Do I have to get the clues in this scenario to explore? I don't believe I do. I do not. I actually want Mandy to go first so that Mandy can explore and then Amanda can use the shortcut to find even more clues. Or use Perception even more times, might be a better way to phrase that. Anyway, let's start by playing Mr. Rook and Mandy, and see if we're going to draw the fabled shocking evidence in the snake. We don't, but we did break our leg. We also made $2. At this point, we're searching the top 7. I could just draw these and gain 6 resources. That's not even bad. We currently have no damage, so I probably have to take an Ancient Stone. I'm going to take an Ancient Stone and the Economy. So I use this, gain 3 resources, draw the Ancient Stone, play the Ancient Stone, it gets 7 charges, and last action, explore. We're looking for Yellow Circle. And we got Yellow Circle. This is the one down right, I believe? Yes. Gotta copy paste a new one in. This is actually ideal. We want to go down the right side. The interesting thing that I just realized is we don't actually care about clues at all. I'm trying to optimize Amanda to get clues. It literally doesn't matter. Clues actually do nothing. Regardless, I am going to play deduction on this check to test at 7-2. Star. I will take both clues and draw 2 cards. I'm going to shortcut into the next location. I'm going to investigate again using practice makes perfect. Unfortunately, we did use Mandy's ability, so it's just going to be practice makes perfect with nothing else, but that's fine. We'll still search the deck. There's something here. Oh, it's deduction again. I actually might prefer the unrelenting, to be honest. I'm going to take the unrelenting. I don't need the deduction. That's already investigating at 6. I'm stealing the good tokens. -5. Okay, sometimes you get got. We still get 2 cards, though, from the unrelenting. And then we use our tarot to get those 2 actions back. We got the cryptic writings off of that draw, or at least... Did we get all of these cryptic writings off of draws this turn? I actually have to check footage to find out. I wasn't paying enough attention. Okay, I reviewed the footage. The case is what I thought it was. I drew the second one during my turn, but not the first one. I could just keep investigating at this location. That's not even bad. I think I do want to play the Occult Lexicon. Yeah, let's just investigate. Uses other practice makes perfect. We don't need to rely on Mandy. We hit Unrelenting again. Maybe this time it'll go better. Seal +1/0/0. Jesus, that is hilarious. I still draw 2 cards. You can't take that from me. I'm going to investigate again. Actually, I'm going to play Occult Lexicon. And then last action, I'm going to investigate at just straight 5, actually 4-2, to get rid of this Whispers from the Deep. It's not been a good turn for Amanda. Fail twice at -5, followed by autofill. Yeah, sure. It's still, like, actually a reasonably good turn. I cleared the location, drew a lot of cards. Like, it's not bad, but it should have been so much better. That's it for us. That's been turn 1. Upkeep phase. Promise of Power is always very nice to see. Eye of Truth is even better to see. 1 of 6 Doom, evil cards. I'm going to Eye of Truth for that. I expect to see this a lot. It's one of our just take damage variants that can get real scary real fast if they keep stacking up on the same person. This lets its test at 6-2. There's no Doom on our location. -2. Welcome to the Eye of Truth zone, good friends. Over here for Mandy's evil card, she's a snake. Alright, I'm fine with that. Start the investigation phase, we draw a card, we discard perception. Something has to go under us. I think I just throw a Promise Power under me. I could be throwing away Prophesy here instead. I just don't feel like I need to. I might need a Promise of Power for something, and the reason I might need a Promise of Power for something is because we're going to be tapping Mr. Rook with Mandy, doubling his effect, and rolling some dice. There it goes. Excuse me? Where'd it go? Okay, this is before I threw Shocking Discovery into the astral plane. And then we get our Vengeful Snake. Okay, that was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. We finally got our Mr. Rook into Shocking Discovery Snake before we were really ready to fight. Psych, we're ready to fight. Let's add the draw buttons back and draw 3 cards. Use 2 stones and kill this man immediately. I'm not a fan of killing Vengeful Snakes immediately, but it's what we're doing. I'm going to, I think, immediately explore. Oh, we play Cryptic Writings and gain 3 resources. That definitely happens. At this point, I just want to get these out of my hands for hand size reasons. And I'm going to explore. We're looking for the star. This is acceptable. It's actually perfect. Nice. We're doing our best to blitz through the scenario. The throne room's 5 shroud, 2 clues. And we could get a mysterious scepter here, but it's kind of for a part of the game that happened in the future past. It's hard to describe, but we're done with that. We don't need the mysterious scepter. Much like everything, we don't really need anything. We only need clues to advance the act, and we only need 6 of them, which is not that much. Until we get to the blue triangle, it really doesn't matter. We don't need to stop. And let's make sure we shuffle in a new card. This was originally a 7-card Explore deck, and that means that there should still be 7 cards. We haven't gotten a card out of this. So I'm going to toss another one in there. Apparently I forgot during this. Technically I should re-explore, but it'll bite me eventually anyway. It'll probably bite me like right now. I'm just going to investigate here. I'm going to use Mandy's ability and practice makes perfect. Let's see what we hit. We hit second deduction, promise of power. I don't know why I said second deduction. The other one is not in my hand. I haven't played it. Anyway, that's +6 to our base of 5. So we're testing at +6 total. Get it out of here. Give these to me. And I will take both clues. Sadly, I can't crack the case. I meant to commit perception to this. That was the whole point, was to draw cards. I'm going to go ahead and have committed perception to that, because that was the whole reason I was doing this, was to draw cards because my hand sucked. I didn't want to draw skills. Those didn't matter to me. I wanted to draw cards like Occult Lexicon, which coincidentally is what we hit, making the rest of this turn very easy. For Amanda's turn, this is a very sad promise of power. I really should have put Prophesy there, huh? I think I might move down and just play Cryptic Writing's Dream Enhancing Serum. Like, it's not exciting at all, but it seems pretty good. This pays for my Dream Enhancing Serum, so I'm not going to bother adjusting anything. We're going to end our turn. No enemies, upkeep phase. Dream Diary is fantastic. Over here, we're a card over. This Practice Makes Perfect actually sucks. It only hits Eye of Truth. And I'm pretty sure this was my Eye of Truth, so there's like 1 card left to hit in the whole deck. 2 of 6 Doom, evil cards. Brood of Yig, not the biggest deal. Deep Dark, kind of a hassle. There are some cards over here for Amanda that can be burnt very easily. Don't really care about any of this, so I'm going to use her blood rights. Yes, about that plan. There are no blood rights. Well, I hit my weakness just now, didn't I? Yeah. So that's never true. There's always a blood right. I use Mr. Rook's ability. I double it. I immediately looked at these cards trying to find the other blood right. The reason I don't have a blood right is because I forgot to shuffle them in. Just didn't actually do that part of the game. I now understand what went wrong, but I will still be using Mr. Rook and looking for 2 cards before I start. Astounding Revelation. I'm going to take that as resources. I don't think I care about the Mr. Rook. I'm going to take the new Mr. Rook and last card, Cryptic Research. And then I'm going to blood right for... I can blood right for 2. I don't need to get crazy here. Yeah, I shuffled it. Those weren't at the top a second ago. I'm just losing my mind. This is just a really good prank by the game. Then I discard Occult Evidence and Astounding Revelation, spend 2, spend 1, and kill the Brood of Yig. Speaking of, we should probably do the Amanda thing. Is this supposed to be set aside? It would make a lot of sense if I wasn't supposed to have the Relic of Ages right now. Yeah, that's what I thought. This should be out of play. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense thematically. Promise of Power? I'm going to put Prophesy under me. Instead of using Promise of Power and feeling like an idiot again. Next up, I'm going to replace this Mr. Rook with a new Mr. Rook, play Cryptic Research to draw 3 cards, and then search with this Mr. Rook to hit... Oh, there's nothing left. For some reason, I thought not only were the Astounding Revelations left, but also the Cryptic Writings. Both of those statements are false. I'm going to take Eye of Truth because we might need it in the Mythos phase. This has been my last resources. Well, not quite my last ones, but Damn Cliffs 2. Getting the Pendant of the Queen in play. For once, I won't be using it immediately. I'm going to attempt to explore. We're looking for the plus. Nope. That is correct, actually. Shuffle a new card in. We're over here now. Also, this location doesn't properly work. And I think the last action, I'm just going to walk back. I don't like the number of discards that are about to happen, but they're technically fine. I guess I should investigate here with these while I have the chance, huh? I use Perception Deduction and investigate with my last action. Easy game, draw 2 cards, which isn't actually very helpful, but it does mean that I get them. What's the timing window on this? After an investigator discovers the last clue, if the test is successful... Okay, yeah, so you can play crack the case that you draw off of a perception on that location. That does work. Unless I'm grossly misunderstanding something. But it seems to me like that would work. I'm going to take 3 resources. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. It's Harvey, where Harvey draws the card after he successfully investigates, which is the same timing window as crack the case. But perception happens before then, so yeah, that works 100%. Deep Dark. Let's imagine I didn't use the deduction, I guess, because there would have been literally no reason to then. I'm probably discarding it immediately anyway, it's not going to change anything. I will still be exploring on Amanda, though. We're looking for plus sign again. Surprise! It was 1,000,000 snakes. I hope you wanted snakes, because that is all we have in stock. Well, I mean, that's a rather unfortunate card to have in the Explore deck with so many more cards left in the Encounter deck. I guess I'm killing them. I'd really rather not kill them. My odds of hitting a shortcut are just so bad. I'm trying really hard not to kill them, but I don't see a way out of it, so I'm going to play Cryptic Research to draw 3 cards. Now that I've drawn some fodder, I'm going to play Bloodright for 2 and shuffle it in. Oh, there's the shortcut that I was talking about how I wasn't going to hit it. Too little, too late, we're going. Is it too little, too late, though? It's not. I don't discard anything, I don't think. I'm going to have to discard anyway, so I may as well get money out of it. The only discard I'm happy about is Obscure Studies, so I'm going to hope the next card I draw is worse. I'm just going to discard this 1 card to gain a resource. I'm going to use the Lightning Bolt window on Mandy to evade this win for free. If I remembered that Pendant the Queen was in play, I would never even considered killing them as mandatory. Oh, also, we tap Dream Enhancing Serum because we drew the second Blood Rights. I can use this Promise Power to evade. I don't need to play Red Gloved Man. If I do that, I'm testing at 7-2. That is kind of the number you're looking for. Easy game. And I shortcut out of here. Upkeep phase, they immediately ready and they're out for blood. We have to discard a card here. Unfortunately, we don't. I haven't clicked this. We're nowhere near discarding a card. Over here for Mandy, though, we totally do have to discard a card. Expedition Journal is dead to me. We only need 1 more clue to finish the game, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure my objectives are just like, get 6 clues, enter the Chamber of Time, kill Yig. If that's right, then I don't need any more clues. And I'm pretty confident that's right, so I'm just going to toss these clue finding skills. I don't need them. And I think there's still an Ancient Stone in my deck, right? So I don't need the Scroll of Secrets either. That's it for the upkeep phase, so Mythos phase. 3 of 8 Doom. And Evil cards. I hate this card so much. The good news is, it's real hard for me to lose actions to it this time. It's only hitting Eye of Truth. So it's a 50% chance to discard Eye of Truth and cause me an action. Which I'm not thrilled about, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, losing Lab Assistance and saying it low hand size doesn't make me happy, but keeping Eye of Truth makes me very happy. Inadvertent Counterplay. I despise this card, by the way. This is one of my least favorite cards in the game. When I make the inevitable video where I talk about my least favorite treachery cards, Merging Timelines will make the list. Over here for Mandy, she's trapped. Start the investigation phase, we do the Amanda thing. Deep Dark is going to go away as well, and I think since there's only 1 skill in her hand, it makes the choice pretty easy that we have to throw down Eye of Truth. I might have played a Crack the Case when I got this clue. Hopefully that didn't impact my subsequent plays too much. Judging by my current resources and the fact it would only have given me 3, I don't think it did. So things will get sorted out now. I'm not quite sure if that was the case, but I'm salty if it is. You know, these snakes are coming for us, right? Like, that's just happening. There's no way around them. There are ways around them, but it depends on how our exploration goes. Alright, I've been thinking about this for a while. I'm not a fan of it, but we're using Eye of Truth under us. We're also playing the Red Glove Man for Foot and Book. And we're going to attempt to break out of Entombed, and once we do, we're going to attach the Eye of Truth to it. Which means we should first investigate this place at 6-3. We're going to commit Enraptured to it one at a time. So our first test is up 4, up 2, fail, place of doom. Good jokes. Okay, I've just realized I'm an idiot. I had the Red Gloved Man in play and Eye of Truth. Like I said, I've been very distracted. I've fixed everything. The doom is not in play. We did pass. Pending the wing to charge from Enraptured. 2 resources go to Amanda, and 4 go to Mandy. And now I feel like we have the fuel that we'll need for future endeavors. We also need to deal with this Entombed, though. We're testing again at 1,000,000, 10-4. Just forgot about the Red Gloved Man for some reason last time. This is gone, and I'm going to get rid of my Eye of Truth to make sure that it stays gone. I don't want Entombed to slow us down at critical moments later on. And last action, I'm going to Explore. If it goes backwards, we can send the snakes on a runaround. If it goes forwards, that's helpful, but not what I wanted. So we're looking for orange hearts. Not this one. Well, I'm glad I didn't kill the snakes then. What are the odds of that? Jesus. The good news is I can now kill the snakes freely because we found all of them. So what I've just learned is that all 3 copies of Vengeful Servant were in the top, like, 8, 10 encounter cards. And 2 of them ended up in the Explore deck. That's wild. Okay. Let's get Murder in then. Red Gloved Man can soak the damage on the incoming snakes. There's nothing to worry about there. I'm going to play Archive of Conduits for 4. I'm going to heal myself for 2. Split it evenly. Draw 2 cards. And I'm going to Bloodwrite for 2. Draw 2. Hello? Please? And shuffle it in. I just spend 2 charges off of this instead of resources. And this Vengeful Serpent is in the victory display. Let's see what Mr. Rook tells us is happening, actually. Let's just search with him, use our ability, and see if we are even... We're not using it. Cool. That still informs our decision-making, though. Cool. Everyone take a horror. By that, I mean a Mr. Rook and Red Gloved Man take a horror, and place a doom on our location. That didn't inform my decision-making in any capacity, unfortunately. I do think I might just explore. I'm not even really expecting it to succeed, and the worst case scenario is really not that bad since I've hit so many encounter cards out of it by now. So yeah, I'm going to look for a heart. We're moving back to the Ancient Hall. This could have been helpful on Amanda's Explore, but it's just a waste of time for this one, unfortunately. And then it'll not only waste this action, but a future action when I draw that encounter card. What did I do this turn? I used Archive of Conduits, Bloodwrite, Explored. That's my whole turn. We're done. Enemy phase, the snakes come down and hit the Red Gloved Man for 2-2. Oh no, what will we do about this? How will we ever recover from this? Upkeep phase, Perception could be nice, but it's really not relevant. It's so hard to say what the discards are when your deck is this good, but you're floating this many cards. I really should not have cut Dream Enhancing Serum, but there's just so many cards I want in the deck with these Ancient Stones and Scroll of Secrets. I don't have the ability, I think, to hold this, not when I need to discard 2 cards. I think I'm just tossing both of these. I'll figure out a way to find clues. It's Double Seeker with a 1,000,000 draw. We'll find something. We're at 5 of 8 Doom and Evil cards. Wrath of Yig. Unfortunately, we don't even have anything under us because we moved that away over here. The Eye of Truth left us. And we didn't put this towards head because we thought we might need the book. And we did. We used the book. It was very relevant. You know, sometimes you get poisoned. It's fine. If you committed things that wouldn't have helped anyway. So let me go grab to Poison Weakness real quick. Alright, there's our Poison Weakness. And for Mandy... Oh no, the fog. It has obscured this irrelevant location. We already have the 6 clues we need to advance, so I guess we should just do that now, huh? All this does... Oh, it gives us Vengeance. Doesn't do nothing. Here's 2 Vengeance. But it also shuffles the Chamber of Time into the Explore deck, which is nice. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's do the Amanda thing. Okay, after a lot of deliberation, I've decided I'm putting Prophesy under me. I don't know what I'm doing this turn, but I'm probably just passing this turn, basically. Prophesy is the least valuable card in the hand. Mandy's going first. She's going to hobble her broke leg back here. I'm going to use these last 2 charges of Ancient Stones as well as a Bloodwrite for 2. So these are gone. That's 1 snake dealt with. I also need to spend 2 resources. That's done. And discard 2 cards. That's the hard part. Practice Makes Perfect is actually pretty incredible right now, so I don't want to discard it. It's just really hard for me to use a Perception in this situation. Same with an Enraptured. That's both snakes dealt with. Next action, I toss the Ancient Stone, play a new Ancient Stone, get 7 charges. I am getting very low on money, though. I'm going to explore as the action after this. We're looking for orange hearts. Chamber of Time sadly does not connect. Deep Dark. Glad I wasn't planning on finding clues, I guess. I moved, I blood rided, I explored. That's Mandy's turn. For Amanda's turn, the Stream Diary has got to get in play sometime. Let's finally take the opportunity now that it's presented itself. This red gloved man should be dead, by the way. I think I'm exploring as my next action. Like, this hand has good cards, but they don't do anything right here. So again, looking for orange hearts. That is a connection. In fact, it is the ideal connection. It's the one we wanted to see. Let's not forget to put in a card to the Explore deck, though. Amanda's down here in the Tomb of the Ancients now. 4 Shroud, 2 Clues, check your supplies. If we have Rope, we can move far away. The Tomb of the Ancients is for the escape sequence of Doom of Estelia. It really doesn't affect us any. And that's it for Amanda as well, so that was a brief turn. Eye of Truth is fantastic. Crack the Cases somehow still relevant. We're just never going to have enough money on Mandy is what it feels like. There's just no such thing as too much economy. Did I just forget to use Mr. Rook? I think that's what happened. Oh well. 6 of 8 Doom and Evil cards. Does Tendo's Alpha matter? He eats resources, and I don't like that. I can just evade him with a ready left man, so it shouldn't really matter. You can have the Vengeance, because as far as I can tell, Vengeance actually does nothing in this scenario. When I'm wrong about that, it's going to be really funny, but I think this is like the Catharsis scenario, where you just get to kill all of the snakes and it doesn't even matter. Anyway, that still has Surge. Ah, gross. Gross, gross, gross. This probably hits Blood Rights, right? Yeah. Fuck. There goes the second Mr. Rook. That doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. There it goes. Hey, cool, I just lost the 2 most important cards in my hand and my entire fucking turn. Oh god, it's so much fun, isn't it? For Mandy's turn, I moved down to where Amanda is. For Amanda's turn, I think I'm just letting this Dream Enhancing Serum go. Because it doesn't matter right now and I redraw it pretty much instantly. Like, trying to kill this thing doesn't seem in any way worthwhile. So yeah. It's going to hit me and put this in when I attempt to explore. Snake Pit. It's the worst of all worlds. We don't actually go in there, though, because Mandy has binoculars, so she warns Amanda that, hey, that's a pit of snakes, maybe don't. Maybe do not enter. Unfortunately, that does not count as an unsuccessful exploration. It still shuffles into the deck. So it's going to take us a little while to find the correct location, but having done that now, we might want to start checking our supplies and using torches. We just look at the top 2 and discard any treasure or enemy looked at by that effect, and that sounds like a reasonable use of time at this point. Goodbye, and goodbye. Neat. There's 2 locations left, so there's only 1 treachery. Oh, we've been in this situation before. If I use this, it's a 50-50 to discard the effect, whereas if I explore, it's a 50-50 to hit the effect. Well, the difference is that if I use this and a miss, nothing happens. If I use this and miss, or hit rather, I explore successfully. So I'm going to explore. We're going to take the odds. Sealed Passage is not the one that matters. Grip Chill. These are kind of cards that don't want to die. Speaking of, Essence of the Dream is in my hand, and probably committed to the test. This only puts me at 4-4, which is not good enough. I don't want to Eye of Truth this. But I can't lose either of these cards. So we gotta Eye of Truth this and then hope. The Occult Lexicon or the Dream Diary? It's the Occult Lexicon. I feel like these last couple scenarios, the autofail counter has skyrocketed. Like, a solid half of this campaign's autofails have been in the past couple scenarios. Which, to be fair, I think this campaign got less autofails on average than usual, but I would like them to be spread out more evenly than this. Anyway, that's it for us. Upkeep phase, where there are no enemies, we've murdered them all. Did I use this effect this turn? Or did I forget to do it? I honestly don't have any recollection. I'm going to assume that I did it. 7 of 8 Doom, Evil cards. The Serpent from Yoth is here to soak more damage. And congratulations everyone, here is your 1 Horror and 1 Doom. This should be so easy for us to deal with, and we just can't do anything with Mandy. I guess Amanda can still kill it, so that's good. Deep Dark is gone, though, so that's nice. I'm 100% sure that I just forgot to spend the clues when I progressed this act. I'm going to go first on Mandy. I'm going to investigate, use practice makes perfect, and double it. See if I can't find some solutions to our current issues. That's a good fucking start, and that is a great follow-up. We're investigating 10-4. I'm also going to use Mr. Rook here. I think there was a crack the case in here. I don't know if there was or not. I might be going crazy. There's not. I'll still use it to pull this cryptic writings, which will immediately get played. Anyway, 10-4. -2, we're good. Take both clues, draw 2 cards, get these practice makes perfect cards. Actually spend the action, maybe. The point of doing this is because I want to crack the case, I want more money. I'm convinced that I need this money for something, but I don't know what. Oh, wait, I just drew 4 cards. Let's use some of that on Ancient Stones and help out with the Serpent of Yath. That might be very relevant. I knew there was some greater reason why I was going to get these clues on Mandy than just making money. Anyway, where do I put these 4 resources? We're going to use a little bit over here, but not much. I think Mandy is probably going to need them, you know, provided I ever find my blood rights again. God, I don't even have a second Mr. Rook. I'm out of fuel. I should have committed this in Rapture to the investigate check for a charge on Mr. Rook. I wasn't thinking about it. I'm just going to give Mandy the money and assume I find a use for it. Next action, I explore. There is no such thing as a miss. It's only sealed passage. And the Caverns of Time, or the Chamber of Time, rather. Chamber of Time is a 4-shroud, 4-clue location. It gets the Relic of Aegis asset attached to it. Not this one. This one. And as we've made it here, we need to spend clues to advance, and we need 6. No, we need 4. Which we're actually very close to having. I'd probably just investigate with all of this. It just seems like the thing to do. -2, I will draw 2 cards. Get a charge on Mr. Rook. Take 3 clues, not that we even need the 3rd one. I'll take the resources, sure. And we will not be advancing the act yet. That would be a very bad idea. That would be possibly the worst idea. Essence of the Dream comes to hand. I play Blood Right for 2. Take the horror myself, which is a fucking bit spooky. I've just discarded every library assistant I've seen this game. Anyway, this shuffles back in. This goes away. By the way, we don't have Dream Enhancing Serum anymore. That should be unchecked. Hopefully that didn't affect anything. And that's the only thing we need to get rid of, because he only has 1 health left, thanks to Mandy. Serpent from Yath is dead. Next action, we walk into Mandy's location. So I'm like super aware that there is a Rotting Remains variant. It does kill Amanda on an autofail. I definitely didn't use my ability this turn. This time, that's definitely true. So we should probably do that. It would have been picked from over here, and I'd have picked Perception. It's the one that matters the least. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm very, very aware that Rotting Remains kills Amanda right now if she fails. Now, it's a lot of work to fail. Like, admittedly, I have Essence of the Dream online with Eye of Truth. I shouldn't be failing. But if I do, I can't play the Red Gloved Man, though. I just can't. It's needed when I go into the next act. Okay. If that's the case, if that's what I believe, then I should be just drawing a card, I guess. We don't need any more clues, right? It's only 4? It's only 4. Yeah, correct play is draw a card, then. I just gained the resources. Just more fuel for blood rights. Alright, let's get rowdy. Doom does not go away, but the agenda does advance, and we summon the Harbinger of Lucy, I believe. Location with the most Doom. That's a tie. We're going to pick the one that's further away from us. And Evil card. The deck is getting kind of tiny, but that's not a big deal. Obscuring Fog is a complete blank. We don't need any more clues. Final Mistake is completely fine. There is no Doom on this location. We get +4. We're testing at 7-2. That seems easy enough. Get it out of here. I may have skipped our upkeep phases by the look of things. I just really wanted to see how that Mythos phase went. We've got to discard something during the Mythos phase, or the upkeep phase, rather. We're done with deductions. We do the Amanda thing. That is a very well-timed Red Gloved Man. I think that's the nail in the coffin of this scenario ever standing a chance against us. We don't need the shortcut because we're never leaving this location. And then during the Amanda phase, I have to put down something. I think it's Promise of Power. Not really convinced it's anything, but if it's anything, it's Promise of Power. And then I'm going to go first on Amanda, and I'm going to progress the act. We spend our clues. Technically, Mandy should have one left, but who cares? One of us takes control of the Relic of Aegis, and we spawn a Yig in the Chamber of Time. This gains Vengeance 2. We're up to Vengeance 5. Yig is now in the Chamber of Time. He is once again a 4/18/4 Hunter Massive, cannot be damaged while there are serpents at its location, and serpents at its location gain alert and retaliate, so he is definitely spooky as hell. But our goal now is to test head or book 4. If you succeed, flip a clue controlled by an investigator in location to its doom side, place on your location, then deal 3 damage to Yig. That's just like a terrifying, awful idea. Is there a thing here, like an ability that I've forgotten about? No, there isn't. Anyway, Amanda, you can have the Relic of Aegis back. It is yours, to be fair. This just seems like the fastest way to lose the scenario is to start hemorrhaging Doom right at the end, trying to deal damage by taking a Book 4 test, which isn't even easy. I will give Mandy her 1 clue in case I decide that it matters somehow. Anyway, like I said, we're going first on Amanda. Here's why. Red Gloved Man, defensive stats to 6. And we now evade Yig at 10/4. That is -6, which is what I passed by, so get out of here with that. Yig is evaded. Next, I'm Blood Riding. And I think this is the scenario where we're in so deep that we just go all in on killing Yig. That is our objective, right? I'm not losing my mind. Our goal is kill Yig. Our goal is kill Yig. So I'm Blood Riding for 3. This first one really can be for 2. Sure, I'm Blood Riding for 2. Oh, I don't have a choice. My occult lexicon isn't in my hand. I just forgot about that little detail. I think I get the most value out of discarding the occult lexicon then. Goodbye lexicon, goodbye shortcut. Put 4 damage on Yig. It's so big it's pushing the autofill counter. That's pretty good, I like that. Play Blood Right again, draw 2. Have to discard it. Toss these practice, makes perfects. Why is he at 4? Why do you already have 2 damage on him? He didn't, so now he's at 4. Now for Mandy, unfortunately, we have to get through this nightmare where she's discarded everything relevant. I'm only Blood Riding for 2. I hate it, but it's what I'm doing. Good hits. Easy to choose what I'm discarding now. I spend 2 resources. I spend these 2. Put him 8 lower, or put him 4 lower to 8. I just forgot how to do math during this scenario, I guess. I'm going to tap Archive of Conduits and heal myself for 2 horror. At some point I healed myself wrong. I shouldn't have been able to heal to 6 because of Yig's thing. Going to draw 2 cards. Use this to deal 1 more damage to Yig. And I replace Ancient Stone with Scroll of Secrets as my last action. I immediately tap Scroll of Secrets. It's not entirely wrong to search the encounter decks bottom 3 and put them on top to avoid drawing snakes. But I have to find a Blood Right, so we're searching our bottom 3. We're going to discard our weakness. I'm going to do that now, shuffle it, and put it back. And then these can go on the bottom or the top, it's my choice. I only get to draw 1, right? I'm going to leave this on the bottom, and I'm going to draw the Cryptic Research. Good job, Scroll of Secrets. You completely neutered this card, but we don't have the ability to search anyway. It did nothing. That's it for us. Hunter phase, Harbinger of Elusia comes for us. Upkeep phase, hope we find some sort of fuel. Blood Right is what we're looking for. Unrelenting, not so much. Top of the round, 3 of 14 Doom. Doom is really not our clock on this run. Yig is ready and furious. That's not a big deal at all. We're testing at 10/2. Get it out of here. You're not a snake, so I don't actually care. I'm very strong in my opinions about that one. End of the Mythos phase and start of the Investigator phase. This dies, this dies. We do the Amanda thing. Welcome aboard, Promise of Power. And when Amanda's turn starts, which she's going to be going first, I suppose, I'm putting down Red Gloved Man, setting the same stats to 6. I'm using Unrelenting and sealing the good tokens, and we're evading at 10/4. Skull is not a problem, although it is getting up there. It's up to -2. Never mind. Release these tokens, draw a few cards. I forgot to add a curse like I always do, but it would only have helped me to do so. I have nothing I can do to help right now, so I play Lab Assistant. I've got money, I just don't have anything to do with it. I will trigger this. And last action, draw a card. I think I Cryptic Research Mandy, it's the only way what I'm doing can possibly help. Draw 1, 2, 3 cards. Those are good cards to draw. Over here in Mandy's side of the game, I think we're blood riding for 2 for a while. If Mandy can deal 9 damage, we win this turn. Otherwise, we need to have somebody not be at this location. We have a guaranteed kill. There are only 12 cards in the deck. Cryptic Research, Blood Rights, draws 12 cards. So I Blood Right for 3, Blood Right for 3, Cryptic Research. That's going to draw 12 cards. And in these 12 cards, they're all over here now. And in these 12 cards, which don't even properly fit in my hand, you can see the last Blood Rights. And then we discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. Where 9 resources bring us down to 4. To deal 9 more damage, bringing us up to 18, which is Yig's health. We still had other ways of solving this. Amanda was still completely safe for at least 1 more round due to Red Gloved Men. I could have used Pendant of the Queen to teleport up here and drag the Harbinger away from Yig. That was also going to give us more time, but I would have to have evaded the Harbinger and been susceptible to autofail. But yeah, that does it. We found the stupid Seeker puzzle lethal. Yig is defeated. Advance. R1, congratulations, we've turned back time, we've saved the day from ourselves for once. Archranger Valusia is just like really scary in this scenario. If you have to actually deal with him, he's coming in at full health because you've erased the notes about him having taken damage. Because you turned back time, you've never heard him before. And dealing with a 20 health Harbinger is just like, it's not happening. I was expecting to play the Red Gloved Man with Amanda, just punch him over and over and over again to get him to leave. That was my original plan, but just having him spawn far enough away that I can just ignore him is also a good solution. I'm not really sure what I think of Turn Back Time. I played it earlier this week as a 3-person group with Rex, Diana, and Joe, and Diana and Joe were both Pure Fighters. It was only Rex touching glues. And that group had a surprisingly harder time with this scenario, despite having much better fighters. I wish I'd recorded that session now, because I have no idea how on earth that was harder. This seems like it should be objectively harder, but we got through it faster. Oh, you know what it is? They spent a lot of time setting up, which meant there was time for Harbinger to spawn and catch up to us. We don't really play assets on this team, and that's why we got done with it faster. Setup time is weak in this scenario, that's the issue. I like Turn Back Time quite a lot. It's definitely a weird scenario. I didn't realize how much it punished us for setting up the previous time we played it. Anyways, I think I'm going to use the end of this video to talk explicitly about this and not have a video just on it. But Seekers only really struggles because, yes, this is an ungodly amount of Teslas damage, but there's just enough health in scenarios, Forgotten Age especially. There's just so many enemies in Forgotten Age. And this return to Venge Snake, this guy, is just a nightmare specifically for what I'm doing. It's a huge amount of Tesla's damage. If you're supporting your group as a pinch hitter, you're just doing flex damage as a primary or secondary glooper, this is incredible. But when you have to count every resource and optimize your chances of getting every single bit of damage, and it's still never enough, Amanda's always helping and running out too, it is not a great method of fighting. And I'm actually really glad it works out like that, because it means that this campaign did 2 things. First, it showcased just how high the limits to Ancient Soul and Occult Lexicon are. There are some campaigns where this wouldn't have been a problem, but there is a limit to how far you can push this. And the second thing it did is it made the campaign interesting. If I played this group through any low enemy campaign, I think I'd absolutely crushed it. The Venge Snakes, the constant bosses, those are the things that really made this difficult. I'm really glad I picked Forgotten Age for Seekers only, and I'm really glad I specifically tried to do the Seeker flex damage thing and see how it would play out. I feel like it made it a lot more interesting, and I actually learned something from it. And I'm glad that Mandy and Amanda were both pressed into just constantly fighting, discarding deductions to get more power from their blood rights. Because honestly, in a normal campaign, they're so strong it makes the game less fun. Mandy especially. Amanda, after this, I'm not convinced she deserves a place in my S tier. It's possible that in a normal scenario, I'm not so pressed that I'm constantly throwing cards away with blood rights. I am just doing the Amanda thing. And if that's going correctly, then I'm pretty much cycling my deck every 2 or 3 turns, keeping Red Gloved Men online. But between the Explore mechanic just constantly hiccuping my ability to duplicate my cards, and having to fight all the time with my blood rights, I never got the level of cycle going on that you expect out of an Amanda deck. I think I'm really starting to ramble quite a lot, and I'm a little bit tired at the moment. I've played the past 3 scenarios back to back. So instead, I'm going to make a video tomorrow, or sometime soon rather, about how I think that Seeker only affected my perceptions of these characters before I do reviews of these characters. Anyway, I've been rather incoherent. I feel like I have a lot to say, but I'm a little bit too frazzled to say it well, so I'll say it in a future video. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you in the next one.